So now I have my two pieces that I need for the sleeping bag, and I'm going to now remove this white back, and I'm going to take my doll and see how she'll look inside of her sleeping bag. This goes on top. So that's how the doll will be in the sleeping bag. And we're going to have writing for part of the invitation on this side and writing for part of the invitation on the other side of this one. So you'll need two of these. So with this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut that white edge out from around it from when we had it in front of the doll. I'm going to click select opposite area and done. And then I'm going to get rid of this second one. And just now I just have this one without the white edge. So I'm going to flip this piece by going to cut out in pictures. By going to size and position, flip, and I'm just going to mirror it just like that. How many of these do I have? Oh, I forgot to delete that layer. Once I cropped it out, I forgot to delete that layer. So now we have mirror images. So now this side is going to be completely pink. Hello, welcome back to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a sleepover invitation, and I'm using the doll from the last tutorial. And if you'd like to know how I made that, check out the tutorial on how to create and modify clip art. So let's get started. I wanted to make a sleeping bag, a regular square sleeping bag, and I couldn't find any that looked kind of realistic. I wanted one that looked more real because the doll has some realism to her. So I found a sleeping bag that I liked, but it was in the mummy style, which is kind of shaped like a cocoon, but I want it to be square or rectangular. So I just cut out the section that was kind of rectangular or square, and then I just had to modify it into what I want it to be. So the first thing I had to do was change the color, which I went to paint and color effects, black and white, which is the last choice on that menu, and then I just clicked to make it black and white. It was blue, and now I needed to clone out this line. So I'm going into touch up, clone painting, which is the last choice in this menu, and I'm going to try to make my brush just a little bigger than this line. So wow, it's not changing. It's supposed to oh, there it is. Okay. So each one of these changes your area that you can clone from the smallest size to the largest size. So I think I'll use this size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the flag to bring it back to yellow, and then I'm going to choose the section right next to the line that I want to delete and click once, and then I'm going to move directly across to the line that I'm going to delete and click again, and that actually the circular area is the area that will be deleted. So I'm going to take this all the way down to the midline, and I'm going to just click there to get that one. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, just staying on that line. And as you can see, this one I might have to adjust it a little bit, but I'll start down a little further and take it all the way down to the curve of where the stitching would be. Alright, so now I'll just have to do a little touch up. I click on the yellow flag so that I can release my the area that I'm going to be cloning. So I can click right here at the base and then just take it across to get rid of that little hump that was left there where the line was. Alright, so now I have that all taken care of. Now I can start making my sleeping bag using this shape. So I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to make portrait size, or not portrait, instead of landscape I'm going to put it in portrait position, and then I'm going to drag up this piece that I just was working on, taking that line out of, and I'm going to keep dragging up until I get, I think I made it 2 of these, and then the last one to make the bottom portion, I'm going to bring it up again, but now I'm going to flip this one around so that it's upside down. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to cutout and position, size and position, and I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to click half turn, which rotates it so that it's in an opposite direction from here, and I'm going to click done. Then all I did was dragged it down where it was underneath all of these, and I'm going to bring it up just like that, and now that makes the bottom of my sleeping bag. I'm going to bring this one down a little bit so that these lines all line up. So now I have my sleeping bag. Let me straighten it up a little bit. Move it over. Alright, so I'm going to cut this out so that I'll just have one piece instead of all the different sections. I'm going to choose a square. And as I was saying in the last tutorial, whenever I can't find the clip art that I want, I create it by using pieces that I can find of other clip art to make it into what I want it to be. And also I draw, so if I still can't find it, I can always draw it. But if I can find it or portions of it to put it together, that goes a little faster, and so I do that. So the customer wanted the colors pink, and she wanted to add pineapples. So I'll show you where we're going. This is the same sleeping bag that I'm working on now, and I just changed the color to this bright pink, and so I'm going to do the same thing with this one that I'm working on. So I'm going to go to, since it's already black and white, I'm going to go to touch up, correct tint, and I'm just going to drag this over until it starts to change to pink. And you got to be careful when you're using the slider, because if you slide too far, you'll lose definition in your picture. So I don't want it that far over. I want to keep all these little shades to make it look more real. So if I slide it all the way over, it becomes basically 2 colors, or sometimes it will get rid of your definition. It was just making these lines disappear, and I want to keep that definition. So I'm just going to take it back there, and I can always touch it up if I don't get it to the exact color I want. I want a little more orange in it, so I'm taking it. I went to Paint and Color Effect, change color. It's the starfish, not the red starfish, but the 7th one says change color. That's what I'm using, and I'm just going to drag the outer ball over toward the orange a little bit, not too much, and it gives me a nice pink color, a rosy pink color. Alright, next we needed to make the flap, which is on this sleeping bag. So I'm going to go back to the one we're working on, and all I did was go to cutout and picture, cutout of picture, by tracing on my own, and I started it from about right here, I believe. Let me check on that just to make sure. Okay, I did the exact opposite. So I'm going to go to cutout in picture, cutout of picture, by tracing on my own. Since sleeping bags open on this side, I wanted my sleeping bag to also open on this side. So I took two of these rolls and I took it up to the first roll, and once I have this included, you'll see the shape that I'm going to be getting once I click on the flag. So that's the shape I want, and I'm going to click done. Alright, now to make that little piece, I'm going to just take this. Actually, I need my sleeping bag to be a little bigger. How many pieces did I put in that one? Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to bring up another one of these pieces. I already have these colored, so I'll just cut one from here. I'll go to cut out a picture by tracing on my own, and I'm just going to I'll take out the top three. And it doesn't matter how I cut this right now, because the part that I'm going to leave showing is going to be here. So I have 3 layers, and I'm just going to move that up a bit to make it a longer sleeping bag. And I'm going to drop it back to the back. And pull this up a little bit. And so now I have, that would be roughly the size of a sleeping bag. If I wanted to make it a little bigger, I could just group all of these and then just pull it up a little bit to make it taller, and then ungroup. You want to group them all, because if you didn't, it would resize each one individually, and it would all be out of whack. So whenever you want to resize the object, you want to group all the pieces together by going to the top left corner, dragging down, and then hit the little puzzle piece. And then once you resize it, you can ungroup it, because I still need my slice at the top. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to change this piece just so I can see what I'm working with. I'm going to change it to red for now. And I'm going to flip this so it'll look like it's folded back to make it look like the one in this picture. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to size and position, and I'm just going to flip it upside down, just like that. And I'm going to line it up. Maybe I'll line it up with these two. No, I'll bring it down one more. Is that way she'll have plenty of room for her pillow and her head. And then all I did to change the color of this was go to Paint and Color Effects, Fill with a Gradient. I clicked on Custom 2-Color Gradient. For the top, I wanted it to be kind of grayish silverish. So I'm just going to bring it in just about right there. I'm going to click Done. Then I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to make that one white. So I'm going to go and make this one a little darker so that it'll show up a little better once I do my little effect in there. And now I'm going to go back, scroll down, and click a style, and I'm going to choose this one, which gives it that shimmery effect as if this was like a satiny finish. So now I'm just going to resize this a little bit so it lines up with those curvy sides, just like that. Alright, and it doesn't matter that it's over a little bit on this side, because when you fold it back, this side would be doubling. It would be doubling in the bulk, so it would hang over a little bit, so it's okay. Okay, so let me fix this piece again. And now I have my little fold back. So I'm going to put, just like I did in the original, I'm going to put that black edge around everything. Remember the black edge that I had all around the doll? So to make this graphic look like it belongs together, I'm going to put this same black outline around everything. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my sleeping bag up from the bottom by left clicking on it and just dragging it up and dropping it here on my screen. I'm going to resize it. And if I need to adjust the sleeping bag to make it longer, and I might do that, I can easily make that happen just like I did before by cutting out a few sections and putting them in. Alright, I think I'll go ahead and resize this some. And I'm going to click it to open it up so that I can move the pieces around and make all the pieces I will need for the invitation. So now I'm going to size this to my doll. I'm going to go ahead and bring her to the top layer. And so once I have her inside the invitation, she'll be perfect for a pillow behind her. It doesn't matter that that hangs off a little bit. It would in real life as well. So I'm going to move her back over so I know that this is the right size that I need for my sleeping bag, and I'm going to go ahead and put that black edge around by clicking on the piece, going to Edge Effect, Highlight Edges, click on the thickest layer, which is the fourth box here. Then I'm going to bring that thickness down until it's about the same thickness as on the doll, and I'm going to change it to black. Click Done. Now for this part, I want it to be smooth so that it looks like it's the inside of the sleeping bag. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Cut Out in Picture, Cut Out of Picture by tracing on my own, and I'm just going to start here because it doesn't really matter how much of that gray or silvery part I get in there because this is going to go behind it anyway. So I cut that piece and I'm going to hit Done, and I'm going to bring it all the way down to the back, and I'm going to change it to a solid color. So let's see, I'm going to change it to maybe, let me see, what color did I make it in the original? I made it kind of a off-white, so I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to click on that section that I just cut off, and this time I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effect, Fill with a solid color. Oh, I took it to the bottom. Let me bring it back first. There. Alright, now I'm going to go to Fill with a solid color, and I'm going to choose I don't want to make it blend in with this one. I want that to stand out, so I'll just make it that solid light gray. And now I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to go to Edge Effect, Highlight Edge. I'm going to choose the one in the fourth box. I'm going to customize that edge so that it matches with the rest of my sleeping bag edge. And once I get it to the right size, I'll go ahead and click my black. I'm going to make that a little thicker, and then I'll resize it to make it line up correctly because I want, there, that works. I'm going to click Done, and then I'm just going to pull this side in a little bit so that it falls back in line with the part that's folded down. So it looks like one continuous outline. Then I'm going to click on this portion and do the same thing. I'm going to Edge Effect, Highlight Edge, choose the thickest one, customize the edge, bring it over until it's about the same, and that looks a little, needs to come down a little more. That looks good. Hit black, and done, and done again. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to push this in a little bit so that it'll be in line with the thickness of the other parts. Alright, so now that looks like one sleeping bag. And what I want to do now, I need to take this part and this part so that when that will make up the part of the card that opens, because it's going to open opposite the regular card, because I want it to open like the sleeping bag opens, and the zipper, I'm assuming that the zipper is on this side, so the flap is going to open from going toward the right. So now I'm just going to go over here to go to cut out in picture, cut out of picture by tracing on my own, and I'm going to go right to the edge of the black, bring it across, and I'm going to adjust that because I want to make sure that I'm not cutting off any of the black portion that I need. So I'm going to line that up. Then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click on the green flag. It turns yellow, and then I can readjust this line. So it'll turn pink, and then I can move it. So now I have it exactly where I need it. I need to bring this one down a little bit because I want to keep this black edge on there. So I'm going to go ahead, click the yellow flag again, and now I have the piece that I'm going to be cutting out. I'm going to hit done. Okay. So I'm going to basically cover her up so that I can show you the two parts of this. But what you could do at this point is save it so you have your doll in the right size that you need her. I already have it saved, so I'm not going to resave it. So actually I can just delete her because I already have her the size that I need. Well, no, I'll save her so I can put her in. I'm just going to make a white square by going to cut out in picture, add a colored shape, and then I just changed it to white and chose a square. And I'm going to take her all the way to the back on the layer side. So now when I drag down this white square and put it underneath the sleeping bag, I'm gonna, I can just do like this, just cover her right here. Okay, so now I have this piece right here. Oops, I have another box there for somewhere. I have this piece, and then I have this whole side. So now I want this whole side to be this color because this is going to be the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to put this behind here. So I deleted that, and now I just want this part to be the same color as this. So I'm just going to click on it. I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effect, Fill with the solid color, and I'm going to make it gray. And I also want to remove this black line here. So all I'm going to do is make a colored shape by going to Cut Out in Picture, add a colored shape. I'm going to make that shape the same color as the interior of the inside of the sleeping bag, and then I'm just going to resize this so that I can cover up that line. Right there, and I can bring the sides in more so that all I'm covering is that line. So now we have our back piece of the sleeping bag, and then this is the front piece. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out by going to Cut Out in Picture, Cut Out of Picture with the cookie cutter shape, because I want this to just be one piece. So I'm just going to cut that one out, hit done, move it over, and then I'm going to delete this part by grouping it, making sure I have every piece in there. Might have to zoom out some. I'm going to group that and then delete it. I'm going to delete that as well. Alright, so now we have the two portions of our invitation. What's going to make up the outer invitation, the sleeping bag. So now I'm going to have to make this piece is going to be two-sided. So in order to make that two-sided, I'm just going to cut by going to cut out of picture with the cookie cutter shape, and I'm just going to put it right along the edge of the cookie, right along the edge of this portion of the sleeping bag. I'm going to hit next and done. So I'm going to just cut out the black line on this one. Since it's two colors right now, I'm just going to cut out this line so that I can include it in when I change the whole thing to pink. So I'm just going to, it doesn't matter how I trim it, I just want that black line included. I'm going to hit done, and now while that's already chosen, I'm going to group it, and I'm going to pull out, I'm going to change the color. And you see it took the black line away, but that doesn't matter because it's going to be the inside of this one. And so I want the insides to both be solid. So this is solid gray and this is going to be solid pink. And so I'm going to just choose a portion of this pink for the inside color. So now you have all the pieces that you need for the sleeping bag, and you have your doll here. But now I want to add the pillow in. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this piece because I can print the entire sleeping bag on this sheet of paper. So I'm just going to click on this side, which is the mirror of this, and I'm going to go to size and position, and I'm going to rotate this time. So I'm just going to rotate it so that I can put both pieces on this side. Once I'm finished with this one, I'll put it on this side as well. Alright. So we have our doll, we have the sleeping bag, put that right where it goes, and now I'm going to do the pillows. So the pillows, I found the pillows just by putting in clip art pillows, and I like this one because it already had the black edge, which makes it look like it goes along with the doll and the sleeping bag. What I did for the pillows, I went to cut out of picture by color selection, and since the background is one color, it's completely white, I prefer to pull the background out instead of pulling all these out. I'm going to do those, but first I want the edge, this white edge off, so it will look, when I bring it up to the sleeping bag with the doll, I'll be able to see how my final invitation will look. So I'm taking out this white edge. I'm going to click next, and then you see it whited out the pillows, but I want to keep the pillows. So you go over here and click select opposite area, and now it will be the pillows that I'm actually cutting out of the background. And I'm going to hit done, and I'm left with just the ones that I wanted, the parts that I wanted, which was the two pillows in the foreground. So now I want to change these pillows to the colors that the customer likes, and she likes pink, blue, and purple. So I'm going to change these two pillows by going to cut out of picture, once again by color selection, and I'm going to put it all the way down on 1, because these are even though it looks as if it's shaded, they're just completely solid different colors. So I'm going to separate them out so that I can change them to the new colors. So first I want to get all of the colors in this pillow. So I'm just going to drag it through until I have all of these colors in the first pillow, and I'm going to click next and done. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the back pillow. I'm going to go to cut out of picture by color selection, and I'm going to pull out the entire background pillow, and I'm going to hit next. So now I have my pillow in layers, and you see more layers over here because this was already set up in sections. I had already cropped everything out beforehand, but I wanted to show you how I did that. So now I'm just going to go back to my sleeping bag, and I'm going to drag the pillow and bring it right into my picture. Now it comes in grouped. If I'm just going to click the little puzzle piece to ungroup it because I want to change them to different colors. So for the front pillow, what color did I make it? I made it purple. So I'm just going to move the top of her sleeping bag off. I'm going to click on just that section that I cut out without the black edge, and I'm going to go ahead and click back arrow so I can put it back where it goes. If you happen to have a cutout like this and you accidentally move it out of alignment, sometimes it's hard to get it back correctly. So if you just click on the back arrow a couple of times, or if you only moved it once, click it once, but you have the option to go back if you make some mistakes and you find out a little down the road. You can go back, I think, about 10 steps with the undo arrow. And then if you went back too far and you actually deleted something you wanted to keep, you push the redo arrow and it will bring back the last thing that you changed. Alright, so I'm going to go to paint and color effects, black and white, and I wanted black and white so that I can get the true colors, which is what I was explaining in the previous tutorial. If I had left that bluish color, it would have made a combination of blue and purple, and it wouldn't have been a true purple. So you always want to, if you're going to change the color or the tint, you always want to change the picture to black and white first. So now I'm clicking on this insert interior of the pillow. I'm going to go to touch up, correct tint. I'm going to drag this over to the purple area, and then I'm just going to adjust it by eyeball to get it to the purple I want. It needs some more blue, so I'm bringing it more toward the blue to try to match it more with that color. And I'm just not too much, I don't want it too blue. And then I'm going to go to paint and color effect to adjust it and fine tune it. So I'm just going to darken it a bit just to make it appear more closely to this color. And I think it needs a little more red in it. There. Alright. Now we're going to do the same thing with the one behind. We're going to go to touch up, correct tint, and I'm going to make that one blue. So I'm going to take this over to the blue, slide this slider over so that it intensifies the blue a bit, and it's kind of a greenish blue, so I'll bring it on down until it kind of matches this blue. That's what I'm going for. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll go to paint and color effect, change color to and I'm going to darken it a little bit to try to get it to closely match that. And now I see that that also needs a little more red to make it, that's too much, about right there, matches pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done. So now I have my pillows and I have both of my two sides of the front of the sleeping bag so that I can make the two sides so you can, when you open the card, you'll see this pink and it'll have some of the information there. So now that I have this pillow, the colors that I wanted, I'm going to cut it out because it'll need to go on a separate page so that I can bring this piece over and put it right in this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and go to cut out of pictures, cut out and pictures, cut out of picture, and I'm just going to do a cookie cutter shape. I'm going to bring it down so that it's just around the pillows. I'm going to hit next, and then I'm going to put an X in this box because I want the pillows to be in a separate page. So I'm going to click here where it says put your cutout in its own picture, hit done, and it will make a new picture that just has the pillows in it. And it'll show up right here, just like that. So now I'm going to go back to this one. I'm going to switch to it, and I'm just going to delete the pillows from this one. Now I need to add some pineapples here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I want the pineapples like on this one. I want it to look like the pineapples are really on that top layer of the sleeping bag. So I need to have this little piece. I need to cut a piece of this so that I can tuck that pineapple under the pillow to make it under this section that's folded back to make it look like it's actually on the decoration on the sleeping bag. So I'm going to go back to my page and I'm going to, I think I have that pineapple. Let me see if I have it in my files. I don't think I saved it, but I can choose. For this one I'll choose this little makeups and put it on there. So I'm going to go to cut. I think I might have the edge cut out of here. Cut out of picture, cut out of picture by color. Once again, I want to go for the background, and yeah, the background. If you don't see it turn into a dipper, it means the background is already cut out. So I'm going to hit cancel because it's already like I need it. And now I'm just going to go back to the sleeping bag, and this one is going to have the little decorations of the fingernail polish and powder instead of the pineapple because I evidently didn't save it, so I'd have to go back and copy it all over again. So instead of that, I'm just going to use the makeup since it's a spa party anyway. So now, as you can see, I drug this up and it's frozen. The easy way, the quickest way to release this as you just open up any one of these on the side, and this is just a glitch because in the software, and it happens from time to time. Go anywhere to any one of these functions, open it up, and then hit cancel, and automatically you'll see the quadrant dots appear around the edges, and you can move it. So before I resize this, I could keep dragging these up from the bottom and resize them like that, or I'm going to, in this case, I'm just going to do a copy and paste because I need, see how many did pineapples. So I used 7 pineapples, so I'm just going to copy this and make 7 copies of it. So I'm just going to hit copy. Now I'm going to hit paste 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're resizing, one item, or you're trying to make multiple items the same size, always hit your puzzle piece so that it'll keep everything in the same size and proportion. And I'm just going to drop these on here kind of staggered just like I did with the pineapples. And they don't have to all be turned the same way. You can just move them around, make it look like it's some kind of pattern on the sleeping bag. And I'll just go ahead and put this one here, but part of that will be cut off to make that look more real. Move this down a little. Because usually when they have multiple objects in one pattern, they will have them turn different directions just to make it look a little different. Alright, so we'll just go with these. And now I'm going to either cut this section off. I can either cut this section off so that it goes under there, or I can cut out a little section of this to slip it up under. And I'm going to show you how to just cut out a little section so that I can slip it up under. I'm going to cut out in picture by tracing on my own this time, and I'm just going to go right beneath that black line and just make it any shape up in here. It doesn't matter as long as it can cover what I want it to cover, which is this makeup. So now that I have that there, I want to make sure that I have my black line still. So I'm just going to reshape it a little bit, and that gives me a black line. I'm going to click my flag, and you see that I have all of that black line, and I'm going to hit done. But first I want to take the check mark out of here because I want this to stay on the same page. If I had forgotten and didn't take the check mark, it would have put that little piece on a separate page. So always remember to check this box whether if you need it or not. If you needed to go to a new page, or if you want it to stay on the same page, take the check mark out. Just like that, and then hit done. And now I'm just going to bring my nail polish back, and as you can see, as I move it up under there, it looks, let me move it over a little bit, it looks as if that pattern is just on the sleeping bag. Okay, so now I'm going to group this piece with those little pieces. So all I'm going to do is go to either side, drag down so that I have all of the pieces of the folded down portion and the top of the sleeping bag, and I'm going to group it, and I'm going to turn it like I turned this one so that I can print these all separately. I'm going to go to size and position, rotate, and I'm going to rotate it as well. I did a right turn for that one, and you can see the picture so to show you how it will turn. And I'm just going to move these so they're not touching. And now I can move this up a little bit so that I can bring this one in more to make sure that I'm not losing that edge. And now you have the completed invitation to be cut out, but this is where you would add your information. So let's see how the pillow will look underneath the doll. So I'm just going to drag that up, take it down beneath the doll's head, and resize it. And then this will also tell me how big I should make the pillow. So I'm going to resize it just like that. And how I normally do, you might come up with a different way that works best for you, but how I normally size everything so that I can get it to the exact size I need it. Now that I have the pillow, all of these, the backpack, the sleeping bag and the doll are all in the right sizes, but I need the pillow to be in the right size too. So I make my sheets for cutout all from the same sheet. I have all my parts here, and all I do to make the pillows separately, I'm going to bring, once again, go to cutout and pictures, add a colored shape. I'm going to change it to white, and I'm going to bring it all across the full page. And then I'm just going to bring the pillow to the top. And now I'm going to cut these out so that I can make multiple pillows on one page. So I'm going to get as close to the edge of it as I can without cutting off any of it. And I'm going to click next and done. So I can fit, I see now that I can fit, I might be able to, if I turn them, I might be able to fit 6 on this page. So I'm going to try that out and see how it works. So I'm going to go to cut out and position. I'm going to go to size and position, rotate, and I'm going to rotate it so that it's turned on its side. And yeah, I won't be able to get a full 6 on there, but I should be able to get maybe 5. And now I can move this one over a little bit. There. So now I have 5 pillows on this page. I would save this as File, Save As. Put it on the desktop for now. And I'll just say pillows, or to keep it all in the same area on the file, I could put sleep pillows, and then I'll start each page that I save with sleep so that they'll be easy to find because all the files will be right together. So once that saves, now that's saved, so I can just delete all of these because I've already saved that page for printing. And now I have this page. I need to make my dolls. So I can put that white square back again and bring up just the doll all the way to the top layer. Spread this across the whole page. So now we're going to make our dolls. So I'm going to hit copy, paste, paste, because I should be able to get 3 on here. Yeah. Let me see if I can get a 4th by turning this one upside down. No, it's only going to be room for 3. Move her over a little bit. I'm gonna try and see if I can get, I think I can get a 4th in here. So you gotta play like you're making a puzzle, try to fit, see how many you can get in there. So now, yeah, I got 4. I can move her over a little bit, and then all these will be cut out in Cricut. And then I would save this as Sleep Dolls. So go to Save As, File, Save As. It's already on the desktop. And I have Sleep Pillows, so I'm going to click Sleep Pillows. Then I'm going to delete Pillows and type Dolls. And save. Make sure you don't save it until you change that part of the name, because otherwise you will have to do all of those pillows over again to put them on one page. So now I'm going to group these dolls and drag them to the back. Drag my white rectangle down underneath the sleeping bag, and now we're back at the sleeping bags. But for the sleeping bags, we now need to add the party information. So I will show you the information that I added. This is part of the information, and even if the information starts at the top, when you put the pillow on, it covers up the writing so they don't see any of the writing until they actually open up the invitation. And I wanted to make the writing in different colors, so I just put them in different text boxes. Let me delete this because I can go back and pull it up as one. So I'm going to go back here, and this is the information I had. Come for the spa birthday party, and stay for the sleepover. And so I'm just going to group that together. And now I'll go back to my main picture, and I'll drag that text up. And this text I put on the inside on the flap or the folded section. And I'm just going to resize this a bit and rotate it by going to size and position, rotate, and I went with right turn, and you'll see, like I said, you can see the picture of how it's going to be. I shrunk this down some, and she wanted other pictures, so you could put your information in this side, and she wanted all these pictures included, so I have those. I can add that one, and she wanted the movies and the popcorn added, so I'm going to go back and just drag those into this one just to show you how it looks on the inside. Drag that up. I had that one at the bottom of this page, and no, I had it at the bottom of this one. So I'm just going to rotate it. You can rotate it on your own, but if you're rotating text, I suggest you go through size and position so that you can make sure that it's straight. But with pictures like this, you can just turn them on your own, save time. And then on this side, this is the first side that they see when they open up the invitation. So that was the side that she wanted the information about the spa party. I resize it. And all I did for this was go to Google, and I Googled, she wanted a mask, the face mask, and the towel on the head and all of that. She wanted fingernail polish and different spa items. So I just found all these items separately, and I did just like I did with the sleeping bag. I just put the black edge around them to make them all look like they belonged in one piece of clip art, and then just arrange them how I wanted them and group them together. And then in this section, I'll just bring up the text again, and I just use that to say, oops, I'm going to hit back arrow. And you'll see sometimes when I make a mistake, I don't cut it out because I want to show you how easy it is to come back or correct the mistake. So that was a mistake that I just made. I moved this and didn't want to, so just go up to the undo arrow, and it can take you back many steps if you make mistakes. You can see all the steps it will take you back, but that was, I only needed to go back one step, so I just clicked the arrow one time. If I needed to go back 2 steps or 3, you just click it that many times, 1, 2, or 3 times or more. I think it goes up to, looks like it went up to more than I had remembered. Might go back like 10 steps. So it's easy to back out of your mistakes. So I'm just going to ungroup this and move this text and this text. And in this portion, this was where I put the main portion. I'll use a Maya. And to change the text, all you do is click on the text box, right click, and then you'll get a menu. The top message says edit text, you click edit text, and then you can just go in and edit that text. Just type in the new text you want in the box. So I put a Maya, and for this part I put it's turning. In another box I put 13. I think I'll duplicate this one because I had those the same color, and I'll just do 13. Resized it to make it stand out some. Then I put and is having, move this up some, and it's having a spa party, spa day, and sleepover party. Spa day and sleepover birthday party. I am not the fastest typist, so bear with me. Spa day and sleepover birthday party, and then I'll duplicate the blue again and say and you're invited. And add an exclamation. So I'll shrink that down some. I can also shrink down my graphic. I think I'll spread it out a little more. So all I did was ungroup. I got rid of that. And just ungroup and move things around however you want. And you have a completed invitation. So now you would take this, save each page as a JPEG by going to File. And the good thing about it is when the pillow is on and the cover is on, you don't see any of this. It just looks like, I'll show you what it looks like. It looks just like that, but once you move the pillows, and I don't think I wrote anything in this one. Yeah, that was just to get the cover. But once you once they open the card from this side toward the right, they'll see the information about the birthday party. And then once this one is cut out and this part is glued to the underside of this one, lined up perfectly, then when they open the card, they'll see. I can give you an idea of how it's gonna look. I'm gonna group that. I think that one's already grouped. Group this. Move it over to this side. I'm going to turn these both back. Size and position. Rotate. And rotate that way. This one. Size and position. Rotate. And this is also how you would make the mock-up for, I always make mock-ups for the people that I'm doing invitations for or treats or anything. So this would be how you would make your mock-up. Turn it the right way. So this part, well, this is the right way for cutting it out. But then when you flip it over, it would be the reverse shape of this. So just imagine this is on the underside. So when they open it up, I'll put this underneath. So when they open up the invitation, it will open like this. And that'll be what they see. And then the the doll will be here. And grab the pillows. And put that under her head. Oops, I didn't want it under there. I just want it under her head. So I'm going to bring it up one layer. And we already sized the pillows correctly, but as you can see, once you put the pillows on, the writing, and have the cover on, I'll bring the cover back up. You can't see the writing with the pillow in. So you have your sleeping bag just like that. And there you have it, how to make a sleepover birthday invitation. I'll take that back to the bottom, and that's how it looks when it's open. That's when you can read all of the information. In here I had party info, and I will show you once again the finished card or the finished invitation. You have the party info, and then I had the address, of course, and the date and time. And that's how you make the sleepover invitation. And you can use this back, the sleeping bag for a boys party. You just change all the colors. You make it a Fortnite sleepover. You can put a boy on in pajamas by add a Fortnite picture to his t-shirt, and all of a sudden you have a boy's invitation using the sleeping bag, or whatever the sleepover theme is. You can easily change it to show the theme of the party. So once again, you've been watching Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. This one was a little more complicated, but I'm also going to be starting to make available my templates for those who don't want to design it on your own. I am going to start making my templates available for purchase. So you can contact me if you decide you don't want to try it on your own and you just want to purchase the templates. Alright, thank you once again. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share with anybody you'd like to share it with. If you'd like to see my videos as soon as I have them uploaded, just click the bell and you will see them. You'll be notified the minute they're posted on my channel. Thank you, and I will see you again next time.